It's so big in my mouth.
Don't break anything.
Oh no! It's like I'm a vampire. I don't want to be a vampire. Uh-oh. Never limit yourself to the tools that you have. Keep your horizons broad. Today, I am making the plunge. I have decided to start learning Cinema 4D. So for the last several years, everyone here at the studio, minus the clone, have been using what is called 3ds Max, a program that allows you to manipulate 3D models and render them, do simulations, all kinds of crazy cool stuff. But there's lots of different 3D packages out there, and probably the biggest one, I think, because it's the most supported, has the most tutorials, has the most plugins, and most of the people I follow on Instagram that make 3D stuff, they all use this program called Cinema 4D. Cinema 4D is very well supported. So many annoyances and struggles and problems with 3ds Max because it is not supported. I just shot the painting. One thing that I do like about Cinema 4D so far is just how fast it loads. I'm going to load 3ds Max.
You just clicked it.
I just clicked 3ds Max. At this point, I'll usually go grab a snack. Oh, now it's loaded, but it's not actually fully loaded just yet. This is 3ds Max 2018, by the way. Okay, now it's loaded. Fully there, I can start using stuff, I can open up projects. I'm gonna exit it out. I've already exited it. Now watch Cinema 4D. Clicked it. It takes a moment for the splash screen to show up, but once it actually does show up, look at this. Done. Look, like ready to use. I just realized something, Carmichael. The license I have for Octane is only for 3ds Max. I think it's like $500 or $600. I think they have a subscription. But you gotta show the scorpion.
It's so big in my mouth. Step 1, cut a hole in the box. No, I mean, download the software, get Octane, get up and running, watch some tutorials.
Then come up with a sweet shot to make. There's actually a plan for that. I have a shot in mind that I want to make. I've managed to install Cinema 4D and it works. I've also now started watching some tutorials. I have forgotten that watching tutorials can be really dry. Yeah, I've now managed to buy a subscription to Octane Render, but I'm having this problem. It's not working. Two meters by 2 meters. Wow, that's not that big. Oh gosh. Okay, there are shortcuts that are throwing me off here. I'm sure I could probably go into the shortcuts and I can change it to be the way I like. What if I add in a capsule? Figure? A human body. Human body. So I've got my viewport movement down to just the middle mouse button. So I can move it, and then I can press the Alt key and
change the view.
Yeah, change the view. I am one step closer. I have now figured out how to implement the Octane lighting system. I mean, step 2, we're gonna figure out how to put an HDR in. Oh, I also gotta learn how to frickin' camera track. My throat is dried up. That didn't really help. Books are some of my favorite things because stories are great and they're so much longer than what you get in a movie. Sure, a movie might be more visceral, but books are where it's at. And listening to books, Today we're talking about Star Wars. Did you see The Last Jedi? I personally liked it, but a lot of people didn't for whatever reason. This book that I'm going to talk about today is called Heir to the Empire. It's part of the Thrawn trilogy, and it's a fantastic book series, and this is why. Okay, let's try to make this interesting.
Go ahead.
Oh, don't break anything.
You want to get on the front? Okay, so before I talk about why the book's really cool, using the code Corridor Crew, if you text it, if you are an Amazon Prime member, you can actually get Audible for $4.95. You can actually get the Audible subscription for $4.95 a month for 3 months. That's like getting 2 months for free. To get that, you gotta go to audible.com/corridorcrew. Oh God. They go to audible.com/corridor crew, or you can actually text message corridor crew, one word, to 500-500. Oh! And if you're not an Amazon Prime member, that's okay, because you can get like the regular 30-day subscription. Now, the book that I want to talk about is called Heir to the Empire. It's the first of a trilogy, so if you get the first one, you have another 2 months to get the other two. Oh God, oh no! So this book takes place about 5 years after the events of Return of the Jedi. So the Death Star is destroyed, Vader is dead, the Empire is gone. But this book is no longer canon because Disney made all of Star Wars before the new trilogy like non-canon anymore. So this is like an alternate universe. This is actually starting to work, man. So you got Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, you got C-3PO even. I mean, Lando and Han Solo team up, and it's a merry old time. I think we're actually starting to get our groove going. This is working. Here, let me take the camera from you. Oh man, Carmichael, this is working far better than I expected. This book is widely considered to be one of like the best. Why are you leaning that way? Oh no! So one of the things that I think sets this book apart, this is the 20th anniversary series of this book, is the production value. And let me talk to Adrian about what exactly I mean by that.
I got pants. It's not gonna work.
We can make it happen. Not only is the narrator really good and he does solid impressions of like all the original Star Wars characters, music, like Star Wars music and sound effects and like background audio, it's very immersive. So like, you got the music?
Wow.
The voice came softly, but insistently, pausing amid the familiar landscape.
So it's Luke Skywalker talking, but you got like the music.
Oddly distorted, Luke Skywalker turned to look. Been a long time. It has indeed.
That's oh, and that's
Obi-Wan Kenobi said gravely. And I'm afraid that it will be longer still until the next time.
No
I've
way.
come.
this is with Han Solo at a bar.
Why not? Because you've gone respectable. For now, maybe. Han reminded him.
Dude, that's pretty
But their
good.
territory's been shrinking for 5 years straight.
I see why you're like all about Audible.
It's like a 13-hour book,
Yeah.
but it has just enough like aspects to it to make you feel like you're watching a movie or a show or something. It's very immersive, and so it's like a 13-hour movie of Star Wars. Apparently written like 25 years ago, 28 years ago.
That's older than Peter.
Their usual.
Are you Amazon Prime?
Yeah. Since you are an Amazon Prime subscriber, you can get an Audible subscription for $4.95 a month for 3 months.
And I can
Just
get any book.
Yeah,
Hey, Wren. I'm an Amazon Prime member. Can I get Audible for $5 a month?
for $4.95 a month. All you gotta do is go to audible.com/corridor crew, or you can text message corridor crew, one word, to 500-500.
That sounds like a deal. I'm doing it.
In fact, I've listened to lots of books. I have some others that I would like to talk about. Here is a list of some of them, and you should let me know in the comments which one I should talk about next. So I guess I should probably film a shot. I'm going to use something that I've been wanting to do for a little while, which is use my favorite camera in the whole world, the Insta360 It's a 360 camera. I want to just have some sort of chrome figure just standing here, but for it to be chrome, it has to have something to reflect. And that's where this comes in. This is going to give us a video reflection plate. Real-time reflections of someone walking around it. So if I have some sort of chrome model here, it'll reflect the person as they walk around it. You might notice here I have a slightly different 360 camera. This one actually belongs to Vsauce. It doesn't belong to me. I've been borrowing it for the last few months. This isn't to get a reflection pass. This is gonna actually capture several stops of light in 360 so that I will have an image that actually influences the light of the scene. See the skylights up above as sources of light. I will combine those images into one super high dynamic range photo and use that to influence the light. So between this and the video camera, I'll be able to get a nice, accurate representation of the real environment here, but in CG. I wanted to give you guys a pro tip about motion tracking. How do you prep your footage so that it can be tracked more easily and more accurately? At least this is how I used to do it. I used to just add levels, crank up the contrast overall across the whole shot. Problem with that is that you end up losing detail when you do that, and then you don't have anywhere to track on, say, like a wall or the ground. This way, you add a crap ton of detail without actually destroying the footage. So here is my footage with no effects applied. Most people do in this situation is they will literally add sharpness. That's not what you want to add. What you want to add is a few different instances of unsharp mask. What is unsharp mask? Finds like places where there's contrast and then just increases the contrast very locally in that spot. And you can adjust the radius at which it's doing that. I'll add a few different effects of unsharp mask. No contrast with contrast. So I'll have a radius of around 50, another at 20, and then another at 5. Motion tracking so much easier. I can track this point here because I can easily see it. Without the unsharp mask, boom, it's really hard to make out from the rest of the footage. So if there's any amount of motion blur, it disappears. I actually really like this little dude as like a test subject, so I ended up just kind of duplicating him a few times and adding a few different textures to kind of just figure out some cool stuff. So we got like chrome material right here in the front, but I also made like a little like goldish foil type material. I also made like a plastic red material, and of course, my favorite, ice. The materials here are actually all fairly simple. What's interesting about this is that I actually have the real lighting from where we shot the video, and I'll show you that here. Now, currently there is no light in the scene, just ambient light. Now, if I turn on the actual image-based lighting, boom. So as you can see, you have like the light coming down from the skylights hitting the top of each of these models, so they're a little brighter up there. If I change the exposure, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. So my exposure is set to 1 right now, but if I drop it down, you can see how the bright spots on the reflection of the skylights are actually showing up the most, because that's what it'd be like if you were to stop down the exposure on a camera. It looks great, but the problem is that my reflection is not there. It's like I'm a vampire. I don't want to be a vampire. Fortunately, I can prevent vampirisis by putting in the 360 image, codenamed Garlic. Reflection of the HDR and reflection of the video. So now, as I actually get closer to the camera, you can see my reflection pop up. And this is what I was wanting. I wanted to get right up against it and wave, and you can see me all distorted like I'm actually looking at some bulbous thing like that. It should look a lot like that. I'm happy with my materials. I'm happy with my lighting. I'm happy with my scene.
I'm happy with my marriage. I'm happy with my job.
Yeah, I'm happy with world affairs.
You're not.
I'm not. I really like these materials now, but the models can be improved, and so to do that, the whole point of me starting this thing is I wanted to make the Terminator. And fortunately, I don't have to know how to model the Terminator, because there is a free version of the Terminator available online that I can download and use.
Try that again. I don't need to know how to model the Terminator because I have time travel.
The Friday rendered took 15 hours. There were 560 frames, so it's 18 seconds long.
All I see is Terminators.
Yes.
I'm excited.
So this is actually the first time I'm previewing the shot as well.
Damn. The little Terminator man. It was amazing.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Are you going to transfer over from 3ds Max?
Yeah, a lot does transfer over, for sure.
Are you going to transfer over?
Oh, yes. Am I going to transfer? I think so.
How long do you think it'll take you to transfer over?
I'm ready to do it. We got some 3D stakes for Premtech to do. Gonna do it in the cinema.
Cool.
I'm excited.
Cool. This looks great.
It's awesome.
Very nice work.
You're pleased with it. I am really happy you stuck around on this journey with me. Thank you for watching. And I'm just really happy I know how to use Cinema 4D now, and I believe you can too. There's tutorials for all of this stuff online. Grayscale Gorilla is a fantastic resource. But really, when it comes down to learning something, you have to give yourself a goal. You have to have something to aim for. If you don't have that, you might as well be wasting your time. Here, I specifically had a shot in mind that I had planned and that wanted to create. I wanted to create this shot, but in order to do that, I had to learn this program and get through the steps of doing that to make this shot. If I didn't have the shot, I would have been like, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Thank you for watching, and subscribe to the Corridor Crew channel.